With 2 planets and 11 moons boasting explorable surfaces, star citizen Stanton has a fair bit of ground to cover. And while exploration doesn't yet have a lot that's mechanically established for it, that's not to say that exploring those surfaces can't yield decent rewards. One of those rewards, and the subject of today's video, are mineable gem deposits. Citizens, my name's Beard of Oz, and today I'll be updating my guide to hand and ROC mining. It's been 2 years since my original video, and a few things have changed that make this budding profession a little more manageable. Let's dive in. Much as the first time around, I'll break this video into 2 main components, hand mining and ROC. Many of the mechanics involved are similar, if not outright identical, so we'll start with hand mining as this is the smaller of the 2, both in scale and profitability. As it stands, hand mining is not particularly profitable when it comes to alpha UEC per hour. However, having the necessary equipment available should you come across hand minables can often gain you a little bit of extra spending money. Hand minables are primarily found in the various caves scattered around Stanton's planets and moons, as well as the perilous tunnels of Klesha Rehabilitation Center, Stanton's very own prison complex. It must be noted, however, that if you're mining in Klesha, you aren't likely to make any money from that venture, as the collection of hand minables here is mostly to expedite your release and line the pockets of your corporate overlords. In order to mine, you'll need a few things. Firstly, a Grey Cat multi-tool. These can be purchased at the cargo and refinery levels of space stations and some other shops as well. Alternately, they are often found in the grey crates scattered around mining facilities on the surface of planets and moons. Secondly, you'll need the corresponding mining attachment for the multi-tool, known as the orbit mining attachment. This can also be purchased and located in the aforementioned stores and mining facilities. And finally, you'll want a backpack in which to store your mined gems. The larger, the better. As in the case of hand mining, you'll not make a lot of money for the time invested, so you might as well maximize the amount you can make. While it's not always vital, I'd still recommend some weapons and med pens, as some of the caves you'll be visiting have either criminal elements or the recently introduced copians, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, there are many locations that you can hand mine at, a few that are marked on the star map, and many more that aren't. If you'd like to find a cave that isn't as frequented by players, the simplest way is to find a mission that will send you to one such cave. In Hurston, Microtech or Crusader, you can find investigation missions that will have you searching for a missing civilian, or, if you have a high enough rank with a security faction, some mercenary or bounty missions will also have you going to cave systems to eliminate pesky criminals or copians. Once you've found a cave and made your way there, have a look around. The mineable deposits stand out rather nicely and are usually one of 3 colors, though sometimes they may look like a mix. With your orbit mining attachment affixed to your multi-tool, aim down sight at the deposit and a scan will initiate. This will tell you the type of deposit, its mass, resistance, and stability. As it stands, resistance and stability doesn't play as large a part in these minables as with larger ship mineable deposits, so the real information we are looking for is deposit type. There are currently 4 hand mineable deposit types, 3 of which I'll focus on here, as the 4th is so rare I personally haven't seen it out in the wild. Those 3 deposits are Dolvine, which is green and has a sell value of 130,000 alpha UEC per SCU, Aphorite, which is blue with a sell value of 152,000, and finally and most importantly, Hadanite, which is pink and has a sell value of 275,000 alpha UEC per SCU. An important note here, if you aren't aware, is that an SCU is a bulk sizing, especially in the case of hand minables, and the collection of an SCU worth will take some time. Individual fragments of minerals are weighted in centi SCU, as seen here. But I digress. Given the value difference and the sheer amount one would need to sell for such values, Hadanite is going to be your best bang for buck choice of the 3, so prioritizing the pink rock over the other 2 is the best financial decision. With the multi-tool and mining attachment, get within a meter of the deposit and adjust the mining laser intensity. This is indicated by the vertical bar on the right-hand side of the display. Currently, the default keybind for controlling this is left alt and mouse wheel. The higher the intensity, the faster the charge will build in the deposit. Left-clicking the mouse will activate or deactivate the mining beam. As the charge in the deposit increases, this bar on the left will fill, heading towards the green zone, which is where we want to keep the level. Fully filling the horizontal bar within that green zone will charge the deposit to a safe fracture point and release the fragments. Be aware, however, as overcharging the deposit into the red zone can result in the destruction of the mineral fragments and also puts you at risk of bodily harm or death. Once you've safely cracked the mineral deposit, pressing the B key will switch from mining to extraction mode, and activating the beam will draw the fragments into your inventory. Should Star Citizen be Star Citizening and this doesn't work, you can do it the old-fashioned way by picking up the pieces with the interact key F. The addition of purchasable SCU containers found in the cargo centers allows for an even larger collection of minerals to be made, and should you have the time, patience, and even better yet, friends, this could easily become something of a fun group gameplay loop. Just remember that if you are planning on bringing said cargo containers into the caves, you'll want a tractor beam attachment also, or one of the dedicated two-handed tractor tools also found in those cargo centers. Up next is ROC mining. The ROC is a single crew, four-wheeled buggy with a mineral cracking laser attached. It has no enclosed atmosphere, so it's important to note that while mining in this vehicle, you will still be subject to environmental factors such as temperature and oxygen requirements. The Raycat ROC can be purchased from New Deal in Lawville on Hurston for 100,000 aUEC, and it is imperative that you are aware there's also a version called the ROC DS. It is not better, it is worse. Do not, under any circumstances, purchase this vehicle. If the cost of this vehicle is too rich for your blood, or you aren't sure ROC mining is a long-term activity for you, it can be rented from the refinery levels of Lagrange points, CRUL1 and HURL1 for example. The rental of this vehicle will set you back 3,000 aUEC a day. Another important note is if you'd like to find a secluded patch of land to canvas, you'll need a ship capable of transporting it. Something like the reliable Cutlass Black or the Crusader C1 would be great options for this. If you don't have such a ship, you can rent the Cutlass Black from the cargo levels at space stations. In the last 2 years, the spread of mineable deposits has been bolstered, both in frequency and spread. Though in my time capturing footage for this video, I still found the moon of Aberdeen to be the best option for Hadanite clusters. Previously, Daymar was similarly bountiful, though with expanded cargo mechanics turning Daymar into something of a pirate's playground, Aberdeen might be the safer pick for those citizens wishing to mine in peace. Aberdeen is the hottest moon in the Stanton system, so a Pembroke suit is a must for mining here. If you're planning on mining for a long time, purchasing additional storage by way of SCU crates from the cargo centers might be worth your time, as the hopper on the ROC holds 80 centi SCU. With your sufficiently cavernous ship prep, head on down to a location with a platinum bay to call your ROC, load it up, and head to the surface of whichever planet or moon you've chosen. Once you've made it close to the surface, stay within 1 kilometer of the ground and begin scouting. Using the scanner with the tab key to ping your surroundings, anything with a signal will pop up with a pin drop icon. Clusters of ROC minables will appear when you are within 4 kilometers of them. Anything that appears at a greater distance is likely a ship mineable deposit or something else, like an abandoned vessel. When you locate a signal that appears within that 4 kilometer mark, head towards it and keep scanning. When you're closer, the signal will change to this, indicating the signature is for multiple smaller objects. The more objects, the higher your mineable yield. Much the same as hand mining, the mineral deposits come in 3 flavors: Dolvine, Aphorite, and Hadanite. The same value is associated with these deposits, you'll just receive more from the larger rocks. ROC mineable rocks will generally have a mass of 0.75 or 0.85. The hand minables will be 0.10. Should you encounter a patch of 0.10 deposits while ROC mining, these will be the hand mineable deposits. You can technically mine them with the ROC, however, the mining laser strength will overload them, and they don't really offer as many fragments. When landed, get in the ROC and head out. Pressing the M key will switch the mining mode on the extended laser arm. Much like the multi-tool attachment, the mining laser has 2 modes, fracture and extraction. Following the same mechanics as with hand mining, break the rocks, taking care to not overload them. Should you accidentally overload them, reverse quick smart to avoid damaging the ROC and yourself. When extracting the fragments, the hopper will be filled to a maximum of 80 centi SCU. Should the going be good and you fill this quickly, offload the fragments by accessing the hopper from the rear of the ROC and transfer them to the storage you've hopefully brought along. Given the larger quantities of fragments you'll collect with the ROC, spurning the lower value gems isn't as crucial, though time is money, and if you want to make the most of it, Hadanite is the way. Speaking of money, when it comes to selling your mined minerals, most commodity terminals at mining facilities, landing zones, and space stations will buy. Though, should there be a boom on Hadanite mining, you might find the lower demand for the minerals require you to spread out where you sell to. And there you have it, the updated guide to hand and ROC mining. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, go ahead and hit that like button. And for more content like this, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when my videos go live. Be sure to check out my cargo guide here. It's my favorite profession in the verse. Stay safe in the black, citizens, and I'll catch you all next time.